Prayer is a way where we can speak to God. But do we hear back from Him? Well, He is a living God and He does respond back when we speak to Him. And these moments are what I call as God moments. Because the way He speaks and when He speaks, it's a very resounding word. And I have several instances in my life when God has spoken, it just stands out and it just stays in my memory fresh as though it was yesterday or just this morning. And today I want to share a few of those moments with you. And I believe that God speaks to you as well in such ways. And if not, I pray and believe that this video will be a blessing to you. So, a couple of days back in our Connect group, my older brother, who was also a mentor to me here in this country, he asked me to read a particular passage. And I read that passage the first time and it felt normal, but then he asked me to read it again. And the second time I read it, every word that I read from that passage began to speak to me in different volumes. And he asked me to read it again the third time, and I said, I can't read it. And I somehow managed to read it with a broken and a voice that was nearly waiting to cry. And I want to read the same passage with you now today. It's taken from the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9. It says here, but as it is written, eye has not seen, nor ear heard, nor have entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for those who love Him. Amen. This verse, I have read it several times before, but that particular moment when I read it, God spoke to me something. And He took me back to several other moments where He had spoken to me with very resounding words. And He made me feel sure that He was with me in those situations. Now, I want to share with you one more particular incident, and then I will share an incident from the Bible. And we'll see how God moves in our lives in ways that He's never moved before. So, a few weeks back, for Christmas Eve service, we had planned to go to a particular church on a Sunday morning. It so happened that we got delayed and we ended up going to a different church. So we go there, we sit there. I've probably been there once before. And this pastor, he starts preaching. So now, on a Christmas Eve, you know the kind of theme that preachers would usually speak about. It would be around the birth of Christ or how His birth was going to be or what that means to us and everything around that. But that particular morning, his sermon was completely different. It had nothing to do with Christmas. In fact, every point that he spoke that morning, it was relating to what I had meditated over the last couple of days. He picked on characters and books that were completely irrelevant at that point, at that time of the year. And he spoke something that really encouraged me. And there was a point during the sermon where I still tested and questioned, and God still gave me a resounding answer. So when this verse was read, or when I read this verse this last week, I was reminded of this incident which was so fresh. And my good brother here who leads all of us, he gave an example of how God used Moses to part the Red Sea. So if you take this verse into context and you see, never before had the Red Sea been parted. People would have never imagined, never seen, never even dreamt that a sea that big, that vast could be parted. Yet, God did that. And throughout the Bible, throughout the Old Testament and New Testament, you can see that in every instance when God performed a miracle, it was something different. It was something new. There was no a set formula for it. He always kept making something new every single time. And the same applies to our lives as well. We may have several ideas, we may have several thoughts around a particular situation or a particular problem. And today, you may be going across a situation where you may think that this could be the solution or that could be the solution or this is the only way I need to go. But my friend, as we read this verse today, when God works in your life, when He has those moments in your lives, the God moments in your lives, He will show you things that you have never even thought, never even imagined, never even seen. No one in the history of mankind would have even dreamt about it. And those are the ways how He would work through your life. And that is the encouragement I want to leave with you today, because sometimes we look for easy solutions to our problems, easy fixes. God does give an easy fix, but He does not give it in a way that He had done it before. Yes, we do pray that God did this, and like He did that, He will work in our life, but that does not mean He would do the exact same thing. He will make something extremely new for you, and that will stand out as a great testament, not just for you, but for everyone around you. So I pray and believe that this will be a blessing to you, and if it was, please do pass it on and just wait in the presence of God, and you will be amazed when you come across those God moments, and those are moments that you would cherish for the rest of your life. So I'll see you again soon, another week in another video. Until then, take care. God bless you. Bye-bye.